keeping pace in third. Then it's Handsome Red fourth with 3.5 to make up, moving up willingly while under a hold. And down at the rail comes Vols, racing inside Lucky and Smart and Maxville. No change in the running order throughout. Still, Defensor Fortis, almost 2 now. Ghostly Act in second, Run Bryce Run. Handsome Red is in fourth, asked to kick it up just a bit. Has 3 to make up, rounding the far turn. Down on the inside comes Vols with Lucky and Smart next to him, and 2 more to Maxville. They pass the quarter pole and turn for home. Ghostly Act is the new leader. Handsome Red takes up the chase. Run Bryce Run between horses. Lucky and Smart on the outside. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. Lucky and Smart is starting to fly home as Handsome Red is battling with Ghostly Act. Ghostly Act, Handsome Red. These two come for the wire together. Handsome Red on the outside. Handsome Red, a perfect trip under Juan Hernandez to nail Ghostly Act. Lucky and Smart, a good third. Then Run Bryce Run and Defensor Fortis. And they're off. Bella Vienna is going to the front, Stay on the Fence, has good speed in second. At the rail, Haywood is third, and outside of him comes Immelman. It's Bella Vienna and Tyler Bays just in front. Stay on the Fence, a neck back second. Another 2 to Immelman, who covers Haywood as they head toward the 3/8 pole. And Stay on the Fence comes through to be almost even with Bella Vienna. Those two as a team past the 3/8 pole. 2 more to Immelman in third, and down at the rail comes Haywood. They're approaching the quarter pole. Stay on the Fence. Bella Vienna, nose to nose. 2 back to Immelman, a clear-cut third. And then it's Haywood. They're at the top of the stretch, and Stay on the Fence. And a tough Bella Vienna continue to duke it out. And now Stay on the Fence gets the upper hand, quickly putting 2 on Bella Vienna. And then it's Haywood and Immelman battling out minor awards. Stay on the Fence, and Mario Gutierrez cruising home to the easiest of wins. Reports home 4 in front. Bella Vienna and Haywood. Paradise Lake coming up. In the gate. And they're off. Soho and Elegant, she is romantic in between them. At the rail, Invincible Molly and Paradise Lake. Soho speeds away, and Soho has a 3.5 length lead in a hurry. She is romantic on the outside of Invincible Molly. At the back of the pack, second and third are Elegant and Paradise Lake. It's Soho in front past the half-mile pole, 1.5 to Elegant. Paradise Lake covering her. They're followed by Invincible Molly in the orange colors, and She is Romantic. 5 lengths covers them. Soho dominating thus far. A 3-length lead midway on the far turn. Elegant clearly into second. Paradise Lake is outside of her. Invincible Molly in the orange colors down at the rail as the field turns for home. Soho with a 2-length lead at the top of the stretch. Elegant second. Invincible Molly picks it up a bit with a furlong left to go. It's Soho clear by 2.5 lengths. Invincible Molly is starting to motor on the outside of Elegant. Soho, 2-length lead. Invincible Molly's coming. It's going to get close. Here's the line. Invincible Molly in a very close photo with Soho. Those two hit the wire together. It's close. Satellite Heart to the outside. And they're off. It's a fast start for We'll Do It Live. Down at the rail, Petite Filet has some good early interest, and Panda Peak splits them and comes to challenge We'll Do It Live. A close-up fourth is Big Rainbow, 2 off the pace. Then Satellite Heart, not the best of beginnings for Beau Soleil. Panda Peak, Will Do It Live, past the half-mile pole together, with Petite Filet on the inside third. Beau Soleil trying to make headway between rivals in some traffic. Big Rainbow, Satellite Heart is 4 deep. Will Do It Live has the lead over Panda Peak. And Will Do It Live lets it out a notch, opens up a length and a half on the far turn. Satellite Heart, Big Rainbow in between rivals. Down at the rail, Petite Filet, Panda Peak, and Beau Soleil. Will Do It Live cruising past the quarter pole with a 3-length lead, turning for home. Petite Filet on the inside, and Satellite Heart are chasing through the final furlong. Will Do It Live maintaining a comfortable margin under Kyle Frey, and Will Do It Live will dominate. Will Do It Live all the way, scores by 3 emphatic lengths. Satellite Heart second, Petite Filet, and Beau Soleil. To the gate. All in. And they're off. And Rose Maddox had a very good start. Recinto Rompere, they're joined by Tom's Regret. And Tom's Regret comes through on the inside. Alternate Rock. Outside of them, it's Recinto Rompere and Spicy Bug. Suddenly 4 across the course. And stretch running Rose Maddox, who broke beautifully, is settling 5 lengths off the battle up top between Tom's Regret and Spicy Bug. Recinto Rompere, just a length off them, 3 deep in third. Followed by Alternate Rock fourth. Another 2 back to Rose Maddox. They move into the turn. Spicy Bug has a narrow lead now. Tom's Regret continues to press a half length back second. 3 more, Recinto Rompere in third. Rose Maddox underway. Hernandez gives her a cue. Starts to pick it up, going by Alternate Rock. A quarter of a mile to go. Spicy Bug and Tom's Regret have been going at it since the gate opened. A full head of steam from Rose Maddox, but has 4 to make up in the final 1/8 of a mile. Spicy Bug outside. It is a late run from Rose Maddox, and Tom's Regret is fighting on gamely. It's Spicy Bug, a length and a half. Spicy Bug, a huge performance to score by a length. Tom's Regret, game in defeat. Rose Maddox checked in third. Family Fun Zone in the infield back every weekend with pony rides, carnival games, bounce houses, fun food, and more. Bring out the whole family. Look for our special PW. And they're off. Precision Strike and Navajo Warrior hook up right out of the gate with Battle Cruiser right off them in third. And then it's Kobe W, Mongolian Gold, hard ridden on the inside of Mongolian Max. 7 furlongs to run. And the leader is Precision Strike. He has it by a half length, pressed by Navajo Warrior second. Then comes Battle Cruiser, 2 off the pace in third. Kobe W is on the far outside. Mongolian Gold tucked in at the rail, just 3 lengths off the lead and willing, and 3/4 to Mongolian Max. They come toward the 5/8 pole, and it's Precision Strike, a half length to the good of Navajo Warrior second, with Battle Cruiser in the green outside of them. Mongolian Gold at the rail in fourth, followed by Kobe W and Mongolian Max. 4.5 furlongs remain for Precision Strike. 3/4 of a length, letting it out a notch. Now it's a length and a half on Navajo Warrior second. Then Battle Cruiser, Kobe W, Mongolian Gold has lost ground. Mongolian Max outside of him. 3/8 to run, Precision Strike, Navajo Warrior. Battle Cruiser making his move now, moving in to take second. Kobe W is next. They're heading to the quarter pole. Precision Strike, fresh challenge from Battle Cruiser at the top of the stretch. 2 more Navajo Warrior, Kobe W. turning for home. It's Precision Strike. He's fended them all off so far, but Battle Cruiser is the only one with a chance to get him inside the furlong pole. Precision Strike, Battle Cruiser. Precision Strike, tough as nails on the inside. Battle Cruiser took a big shot at him and keeps on grinding away, but Precision Strike has the answer. And Precision Strike wins it under Antonio Fresu. Battle Cruiser second, Navajo Warrior a distant third in front of Mongolian Max. They're in the gate. And they're off. Derecho Dandy broke inward. It's a quick start for What a Dude, who is confronted early by Sir Pistolero. So those two pass the stands together as Ferrariano sits in a great spot third. He's followed by Derecho Dandy fourth with a little more than a lap to travel. Down at the rails, 17 Black is unhurried. 3 clear of Quagmire Magic and Hard Mission. It's What a Dude into the first turn. Sir Pistolero backs off. He's now 2 behind in second and moving over to the rail. A gap of 4 back to Ferrariano in third. Derecho Dandy and 17 Black follow that one. The 2 trailers at the back of the field are Hard Mission and Quagmire Magic. Onto the backstretch. What a Dude setting a very honest pace. He's in front by 3 now over Sir Pistolero. Now it's 4. Another 5 lengths back to Ferrariano under a nice hold in third, and Derecho Dandy outside of him. 17 Black, Hard Mission, Quagmire Magic. What a Dude takes him into the far turn. The lead is expanded to 6 lengths. No turning back for What a Dude. In second is Sir Pistolero. Ferrariano now set down to come after them in third. On the outside comes Hard Mission, Ford 17 Black, Derecho Dandy between those two. They're at the top of the stretch. And it's question and answer time for What a Dude. His lead diminishing. Here's Ferrariano on the outside, and in between Pistolero. They're in the final furlong. 17 Black angles out for the stretch drive. It is What a Dude still there. Ferrariano coming at him. Between them, Sir Pistolero and 17 Black flying home. 17 Black on the outside. Runs them all down under Umberto Rispoli. Timed to perfection. Ferrariano is in a photo with both Sir Pistolero and What a Dude. Horn. They're in the gate. They're off. Disobey, as usual, blasts out beautifully and goes straight to the front. Belly up. Andy, Can You Hear Me is up and on the pace today. Down at the rail, Jamming Eddie is the gray. He's racing in fourth. Give Her Not a Taker is right next to him. They're followed by California Tiger. Tom Horn is down at the rail, and Seattle Breakout 10 lengths off the lead. Tiago Pereira and Disobey take him past the half-mile pole, in hand by a half length to Andy, Can You Hear Me second. Belly up, tugging fiercely in third. Another 2 to Jamming Eddie. Right next to Give Her Not a Taker. Joined 3 wide by California Tiger, who's 6 lengths off the lead, rounding the far turn. Seattle Breakout and Tom Horn. Coming toward the quarter pole, Disobey at the rail. Andy, Can You Hear Me within ahead of him. 2 more belly up, called on now in third. Give Her Not a Taker is fourth. A wide California Tiger, 6 off the lead, but picking up some momentum. Then Jamming Eddie there at the top of the stretch. Disobey, Andy, Can You Hear Me? Shoulder to shoulder in the final 1/8 of a mile. Jamming Eddie, center of the racetrack. California Tiger continues, and Give Her Not a Taker. California Tiger with a sustained bid, and Give Her Not a Taker come for the wire together. Give Her Not a Taker, California Tiger. Nose Bob could go either way. Tight photo. It's either Give Her Not a Taker or California Tiger. Cannot split those two. And in behind them, it was a battle among several for the minor awards. Rhapsody in the colors of Michael House going up. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Santa Barbara. And Comanche Country, very alert out of the gate, but I'll Have Another Kiss with more natural speed is up to take the lead. And so I'll Have Another Kiss will be the pacemaker. Milagre do Sol takes the second spot and is just about 2 lengths off the pacemaker. Then it's Comanche Country, and Duvet Day races in fourth. Vincero Grande is down on the inside, customer list just outside of her, and another 3 back to an unhurried musical Rhapsody. They're coming into the stretch for the first time, and I'll Have Another Kiss, unopposed on the front end, has a 2-length lead over Milagro do Sol in second. Duvet Day inches up on the outside of Comanche Country, and then it's Customer List 3 wide on the outside of Musical Rhapsody, who's down at the rail with a lap to travel. Vincero Grande is in between those two. I'll Have Another Kiss has it by a length. Milagro do Sol is in second. Duvet Day still sharing third with Comanche Country. Then comes on the inside Musical Rhapsody, a 3 wide Customer List, and Vincero Grande. No change in the running order as they move toward the backstretch, and the lead belongs to I'll Have Another Kiss. It's a 1-length edge. Milagro do Sol keeping her honest, and these two have sped 5 lengths clear now. Duvet Day snugly in hand at this stage under a firm hold. At the rail, Comanche Country is next, followed then by Customer List. At the rail, Musical Rhapsody still traveling very kindly, also under a good hold, and Vincero Grande is at the back of the field. They are half mile from home in the Santa Barbara. I'll Have Another Kiss, Milagro do Sol, now pushed along, trying to keep pace second. Then Comanche Country, Duvet Day. Musical Rhapsody inching up still, ears up in the air, ready to pounce. She's 5 lengths off the lead. Outside of her comes Customer List, and another 2 back to Vincero Grande. It's I'll Have Another Kiss coming toward the quarter pole. Duvet Day moves in. Musical Rhapsody is now threading through traffic, comes to the 3 path. Outside of her, Customer List and Musical Rhapsody and Duvet Day come to the 8th pole together. On the inside, Duvet Day tough, Musical Rhapsody right to her. They're head and head. 3 lengths back, Vincero Grande has surfaced late. Musical Rhapsody and Mike Smith, Duvet Day and Juan Hernandez head and head for the wire. Here is the line. Photo finish. Duvet Day, game as ever on the inside of Musical Rhapsody. Those two hit it right together. Vincero Grande was third.
As a society, we celebrate Mother's Day today, but let's face it, every day should be Mother's Day, right? Mothers are the creators of life. They give us love and they give us joy. They give us inspiration. They give us support. And every day should be Mother's Day, as I mentioned. And I'm so happy that all of you on track today celebrating Mother's Day are here to join us in that fantastic celebration. And another person who's with me to celebrate Mother's Day, but let's face it, it's a working day for her. Her name, Camilla Yakti. Millie, happy Mother's Day. Welcome to the seminar.
Thank you so much. And for any of you out there who have teenage children, you know, for 364 days of the year that you're the worst parent in the world. You know nothing, right? Everyone else's mom lets them do whatever, you don't. But for that one day of the year, we get to hear nice things.
You're a track mom. You're a track mom. Were you able to sleep in late, and were you served breakfast in bed?
No, I did 7 sets this morning on the pony. I went home, I showered and changed.
What time did you wake up?
Right
4:30ish?
4:20 is
unbelievable. Unbelievable. You mentioned two teenage sons that you have. Let's talk about each one of them. Ben is your older son, I believe, correct?
He's my youngest.
Youngest son. Who's your oldest son?
Yeah, Sam is my oldest.
Sam is your oldest son. Now he's going to graduate from high school.
He is, yes. He's heading off to San Marcos is where he's going. He was selecting any of the colleges that had a surf team. That's his priority. But we're happy he's going to college.
Now he lives nearby San Diego, so there's not a lot of water around. How did he become such an aqua lover?
Del Mar.
Okay, gotcha.
They literally, I was pregnant with both my kids, so they have from the minute they were born, they have been Del Mar babies. They have summer birthdays, so they've been blessed to spend every summer of their life down in Del Mar, and we're self-taught surfers, and yeah, the rest is history.
He's going to be a lifeguard as well, I understand, right?
Yes, that's right. That's what he wants to do. Hopefully the LA County lifeguard.
And your younger son, I believe, is a sophomore in high school?
He is.
Does he like the water?
He's very different. He does like the water, not the extent of Sam. He's more about animals and farming. He loves to fish and hunt, and is spending the summer in Colorado this summer working on a farm. So very different, two very different children.
Either one going to visit the racetrack maybe on a regular basis like you and your husband, or are they going to go in a different direction if you think?
They bring their friends for entertainment, but that's about it. Yeah, that's as far as they want to take it. Yeah.
And as if you didn't have enough testosterone in the household, but besides your husband, Tim Yakteen, the trainer, you also have Rigby, a new black lab as well. He's about a year old or so.
He's my third child, yes. And he's like my little support dog. He comes to the set sometimes and hangs out. He's really good. So yeah, I'm empty nesting, getting ready for that empty nesting. So I got the puppy in advance.
You sure are. Now we're looking forwards with both your children and of course you and your husband's career. But let's look backwards for a moment. And this is one of the beauties of the seminar is we get to know a little bit more about the guest. And certainly we want to know a little bit more about you, Millie. You started out basically as a jockey in England, right?
I did.
How long did you ride for? How many victories did you have?
I started point-to-pointing when I was 16 years old. Was lucky enough to have some winners over the jumps. Then I actually transitioned to the flat, worked for Ian Balding, a very famous flat trainer over there in England. He hooked me up with John Hammond in France.
I've heard of both those guys.
And I worked and rode 2 seasons as an amateur jockey for John Hammond in Chantilly.
Beautiful place. I've seen the pictures.
Oh my God, it's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it is. And then John was the one that got me the job with Ian Jury at Hollywood Park. Yes. Mm-hmm. So I was supposed to come for 3 months and ended up, like everybody else, loving it out here so much.
How many career victories did you have on the flat?
I had 9 wins on the flat. A few over the jumps. And I actually rode 1 amateur race out here. I didn't win it, but I did ride an amateur race out here. And then that was at Suffolk Downs. And then I also rode a trial race going back, this is quite a long time, when they had those trial races in New York for Bobby Frankel.
Nice. And then you transitioned to be an exercise rider.
Yes.
Did you retire from riding because either you were tired of it or you had to because of an injury?
No, it was because I ended up staying here.
I see.
I had the position to go back and ride as amateur rider for John Hammond, but I called him up after about, I think, 3 weeks of being out here. And I said, hey, boss, I really love it here. I'm planning on staying a while. I've been here ever since and knew pretty quickly, I was an amateur jockey versus the professionals out here. And, going back then, it was, Eddie Delahousse, Chris McCarron, Alex Lee. police. I was, working with those riders in the mornings, and figured out pretty quickly that I wasn't going to progress to ride professionally over here. So I stayed as an exercise rider and got to work. I mean, so lucky I got to work with.
How many years were you an exercise rider?
Trainers. I was an exercise rider for, about 20.
Wow.
About 20 odd years, with a little break here and there for having kids.
So during that 20-year span as an exercise rider, you must have got on the backs of a few very nice horses, maybe some that we've heard of.
Yes.
Who are maybe your top 3 that you would put near the top of the list?
I would say probably the best and most famous racehorse I galloped, and I galloped him once, was Real Quiet.
Unbelievable.
I came over to Hollywood Park one time and I got to gallop him.
Could you tell immediately that he was a different type of animal?
No.
If you couldn't.
No, I mean, he
wasn't as spectacular.
Galloped really nicely.
Sure.
But no, it wasn't something, like, oh my gosh, this is an extraordinary horse. Tinner's Way, I galloped him and worked him regularly for the late Bobby Frankel. He was a very good horse.
This was also at Hollywood Park. I believe Bobby trained over there across
most
town.
Most of my years were at Hollywood Park. I worked for Injury and Bobby Frankel. Freelanced a little bit for Neil Drysdale, and then ended up working for Richard Mandela this side of town when Tim and I were engaged, and then got married, and I stayed this side of town with Richard Mandela, and then I had my 2 kids, so I took a little break, and then I went back and finished off galloping for Tim.
Now, I don't know if when you were riding horses in the morning, Millie, whether you used walkie-talkies or not. Of course, Bob Baffert is very famous for that. Do exercise riders have a clock in their head? In other words, when you were working a horse, did you know, generally speaking, what that horse was doing? In other words, if the trainer told you to go 48 and change, you pretty much knew how to accomplish that.
It takes a little bit of time and a lot of horses to work, but you do get a good clock in your head. And I was never coordinated enough or couldn't just see well enough in the dark most of the time to have a watch and use that as my clock. So I relied on my head, and most of the time I would say, got it close enough. So yes, you do develop that, but it is nice to have the walkie-talkie, and not just for works, Tom, but if there's a loose horse on the track or something's happened, that to me is really when the walkie-talkie is important. You know exactly where it is, and you know how to get out of a bad situation. We're
going to rely on Millie's brain to pick 9 winners for us on today's card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramani and get the early scratches on today's Mother's Day card here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon and happy Mother's Day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast, turf firm, rail on the turf at 0 for this afternoon's card. Here are the changes. In the first race, couple of blinker notes. We start the early pick 5. Race 2, number 1, Frisco, should be listed as a Ridgeling. Numbers 3, 4, and 6 each carry 1 pound over. In the third, scratch number 2, Atomic, drop. Race 3, take out the 2. Pick 6 starts with the 4th, the Las Barrera. No scratches or changes. In the 5th, scratch 6, Paul Vincent's Poem. The late pick 5 and the $3 all-turf pick 3 kick off with the 5th. In the 6th, scratch number 4, Sky Sailing. Note that 5, Raising Silver, 1 pound over. In the 7th race, there are no changes. In the 8th, no super high 5, scratch 4, Escape Route, and scratch 7, Mr. Iceman. 4 and 7 are out. And in the 9th, number 9, Chispa Roja, 1 pound over, Golden Hour double, starts with race 9. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. Post time for the opener is in 58 minutes at 1 p.m. The Family Fun Zone is up and running each Saturday and Sunday in the infield. And on Saturdays and Sundays, we offer the Coast to Coast Pick 5, another huge payoff yesterday. It's been happening all season, and it goes today at 1:16, a little more than an hour and 10 minutes away. It starts with Gulfstream's 7th today, coast-to-coast pick 5, player-friendly 15% takeout, $1 minimum, combining races from Santa Anita Park and Gulfstream Park with a low 15% takeout Saturdays and Sundays, the coast-to-coast pick 5. Let's go back to the studios and resume the seminar. Tom Quigley's special guest is Millie Ball.
Welcome back. We're talking to Millie. She's the proud mother of 2 adorable sons. They're both in high school, one a senior, one a sophomore. We're happy to have her on the set today, I should say. Her husband, Tim Yachteen, runs 2 on today's card. We'll talk about that in a minute. You kind of give us a glimpse, Millie, into your career up to this point. You talked about being a writer in England, an exercise writer for 20 years here stateside. One thing we haven't talked about is how you got involved in broadcasting. You made that transition. Interestingly enough, you were exercise writing at Hollywood Park. You decided to take some classes at UCLA, and the rest is history.
Yeah, well, it sort of came out from something that wasn't so great. I had a fall and hurt myself pretty badly and had to have some time off to recuperate from that. And I kept thinking, what am I going to do if I end up not going back to writing? What am I going to do? So I took a broadcast journalism course at UCLA, and that led to an internship at KTLA.
A local news station.
Yes, working on the assignment desk at KTLA. And that led to me putting out a demo tape, really to go into broadcasting. And I sent that tape, and it's very embarrassing now to look back at it, but I sent it, and bless Amy Zimmerman, because she somehow saw some good in it and gave me the opportunity to work for XBTV. I'd done a little bit of work before with TVG, but when they very first launched, my job really there was introducing the talent to the connections, because I'd known them all, the connections so well, having worked on the backside. So that was my job there. But Amy really, bless her, was the one that gave me the opportunity to have a job at HRTV.
But that experience on the backside definitely has helped you throughout your broadcasting career.
So. I don't think I could have done it without that, because so much of my early years was being able to get through because I knew the connections and could bring that information. And that was probably my saving grace of why I'm still here. And actually, I was just looking back. Amy hired me in 2003. So this will be going into my 21st year.
Time flies when you're having fun, yes. That's for sure. What do you think is your most important attribute that you bring to the watchers and the listeners of the simulcast show? In other words, is it if a horse looks fit, maybe an analysis of the workout video, how they look in the paddock? What do you kind of think you bring to the table amongst all of us as simulcast hosts and reporters?
I think it is the connections and the relationships I've made back there. Sure. I'm the vessel. I'm just passing the information on from
point A
the
to
trainer.
Point B.
Exactly. And I think that I've built trust with them.
No doubt.
And so I think that's the number one. And then number two is I think that just having been around horses my entire life and looked at them and watched them train and being on them, it's knowing the signs that horses give you, whether it's physically or mentally, that they're ready.
And they do have body language that they exhibit, right? So. Either positively or negatively.
Exactly, yes.
And it takes a trained eye. It's almost like a shooting pool or shooting free throws. The more you do, the better you get at it.
Yes.
And of course, your lifelong experience being around horses has contributed to that.
Yeah, and originally, Tom, it was being on them was how I'd get most of my feedback. And I thought when I watched Tim watch the horses train, I was like, how do you know which one's good and which one's ready? But working with XBTV and the workouts helped me a lot.
Sure.
Just seeing so many horses working that now I find it easier to tell.
Well, we're going to look at some workout video a little bit later, but let's kick things off here, Millie, in race number 1, which begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. And we kick things off on the turf course. The rails today are at 0 feet, and race 1 is run at the distance of 1.125 miles on the turf course. It's for 3-year-olds. It's an allowance optional claiming race. You'll see the tote board pretty evenly matched between 1, 2, and 5. Moonlit Sonata, trained by your husband, Tim Yakteen. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Millie, I want to show the the replay that both Moonlight Sonata and El Rey Rey exit, the race that they exit, which was back on March 29th. When we watch it in just one moment, the two runners we want to focus on are breaking from post position number 8. That would be Moonlight Sonata, who's going to be pretty much caught wide the entire journey. And number 6, El Rey Rey, who does have a lot of trouble throughout the entire running of the race. El Rey Rey was the post-time favorite, finished 3rd. Moonlight Sonata finished 2nd. So rather than me talk about it, let's watch the replay for Moonlight Sonata and El Rey Rey and listen to Frank Miramati describe the action.
And they're off. Uncle Truly gets the first call, but now it's Better Than Gold who goes up to take the lead. Formidable Man, Rastaman Vibe is up close in the early stages, but it's Formidable Man and Better Than Gold who are stride for stride. Better Than Gold maintains the edge with a lap to go. Formidable Man second by 3. Rastaman Vibe is in 3rd. Then Bandwagon, Uncle Truly settles in 5th in front of El Rey Rey and Moonlit Sonata. Goldfoot second to last, and Mighty Kai is 15 lengths off front running Better Than Gold, who sets the tempo, cruising along by 2 with less than 6 furlongs to run. Formidable Man in a good spot second. Rastaman Vibe 6 off the pace in 3rd. Then Uncle Truly on the outside of Bandwagon. A length and a half. El Rey Rey is a little hard to handle. He's keen on the inside of Moonlit Sonata. Another 3 lengths to Goldfoot and Mighty Kai. They have a half-mile left to go, and it's Mike Smith and Better Than Gold, uncontested up top. Leading by almost 3 lengths now to Formidable Man. Rastaman Vibe gets a little closer. Uncle Truly, Bandwagon, and El Rey Rey inside of them. Here's Goldfoot, 4 deep, White Cap on the outside, all the way up to take 3rd around the far turn. Moonlit Sonata and Mighty Kai. They're coming to the quarter pole. Better Than Gold, short lead. Here's Formidable Man making his move, and it's a bold one. And on the outside of them, Goldfoot continues to make headway. Behind them, Bandwagon at the rail. El Rey Rey is trying to find some racing room for the final 1/8 of a mile. Formidable Man at the rail. Better Than Gold still fighting bravely. Just behind them, El Rey Rey. Moonlit Sonata has surfaced late, but it's Formidable Man. And Formidable Man, Reese Pulley won the first. He won the last.
Millie, Moonlit Sonata finished a very good, hard-charging second there. We saw El Rey Rey with a bit of trouble finishing 3rd as well. But you like another runner in the field just a tad more than your husband's horse.
I do, and I just think because of the lack of pace, our horse is training really well coming into this race. But if you noticed last time out, they had some pretty good fractions to run out, going 1 1/8 miles. This time, I see Final Boss as the lone speed in here.
Particularly with blinkers on.
Yes, and so I just think that may compromise Moonlight Sonata, from the pace situation. The rail is at 0 feet, which should help him because he comes from off the pace, and so does El Rey Rey. El Rey Rey, I mean, he was very rank early for a good portion of that race, so I could see if he settled, he'd have more to finish. But I felt like the two horses were next to each other in the race, one inside and one way outside, and finished together, and Moonlight just had a little bit more of a kick.
And Moonlit certainly had more ground to cover as well. A question for you regarding Moonlight's training since that last effort we just watched. It looks like Tim has been training him primarily on the training track. What are the reports on the training track itself? That's relatively new. Is Tim happy? Are other horsemen and horsewomen happy with the training track?
Yes, I mean, we've strictly stuck to working turf horses on the training track, and fortunately, they seem to be really enjoying it. I've seen the majority of horses that I've seen work on their work, and they work pretty quickly. 1 or 2, I can see you can just tell they're not enjoying it. It's a little bit sticky. My pony, for example, I've got 2 ponies. One loves it and looks like a racehorse on it. And the other one does not at all. So I think it's very individual.
Are the ponies both males?
Both males.
Of course they are. What are their names?
Toro and JJ. JJ was brought up like in Idaho in the snow, and he's an amazing broke pony. Toro, we're working on.
Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This is for the babies. 4.5 furlongs of the distance on the main track, maiden special weight 2-year-olds. We've got a field of 6. Of course, all of them are first-time starters. So like we've done for these 2-year-old races, courtesy of our friends at xptv.com, we're going to show you workouts for a number of these first-time starters. Starting with number 2, the way the name is pronounced, according to the trainer Val Brinkerhoff, is Soy Nun. And the workout we want to watch coming out of the gate is the most recent work on May 4th. This was in company with a maiden claiming winner of $32,000 back on January 15th. Let's roll the tape if we can for Soy Nun number 2 on May 4th. Here's the workout, Millie, and you can see that Soy Nun is on the outside, working in company with Watch the Law, who is actually a pretty nice horse. Now, you're kind of the exercise workout video analyst or expert, should I say, and you can see her on the outside. Soy Nun is basically not being asked at all. That's what I look for, is just rider intent, the way their arms are moving or maybe not moving, and it sure looks like he's got a lot of run, the son of good magic.
Yeah, and our score's on him right here, and he's pretty high up in the saddle.
Yes.
You see that, and that gives you a real good indication as to how easy the horse is going. When you stand up, you're up high in the saddle like that. It's just better leverage, and you can see. Look at the extension on this horse
for a first-time starter.
Beautiful extension, lovely mover. He's a son of good magic out of a Tisbud mare, and the work. Later on after this, on the 4th of May, he broke slow, Tom, rushed up, but he was ending up better of an older horse. And when you're talking 2-year-olds working against older horses at this time of year, that's very impressive.
Let's shift down the page to number 5, another first-time starter, the Calbred. El Ondeado is the name of this particular runner, and the workout we want to watch is, again, from the gate on April 19th. This particular time, this gelded son of is going to be down on the inside. You can see that the exercise rider right out of the gate is asking for a lot of early speed, so expectations are today we're going to see a similar effort from the jockey.
And quite to the contrary of the other work we saw, look how low he was, when he was down and really asking this horse to get. He's trying to get speed, gate speed from this horse, and he's working on him the whole time. The horse to the outside is just, keeping him busy here. And I like that every time the horse on the outside, the company, Panuco, he puts pressure on him. This horse just is gritty enough to just stick his head out and give a little bit more. Yes.
And being down on the inside, sometimes position does matter. A lot of horses can be intimidated down on the inside. It's actually preferable to be on the outside. So again, some gameness showed by this first-time starter. And also, let's take a look at a workout, I should say, for another Calbred on the bottom, number 6, Tim Ty. This was actually what I would consider to be a key workout. You've heard of key races before. This is a key workout. This was just a 3-furlong work from the drill, but when we run the tape, let's take a look at who the other workmates are. Tim Ty is going to be on the outside with the red shirt, and again, he's only going to work 3 furlongs while his workmates go on to 4 furlongs. But take a look at the names of some of the workouts in this particular workout. 2 of them have already run maiden special weight races here at Santa Anita. One of them, Night Beacon, very, very impressive on Friday with jockey Emily Ellingwood in the saddle for trainer Ryan Hansen. And also another Ryan Hansen first-time starter, Broadway Venus, emerged victorious a week ago as well. So this was, just looking at the company that Tim Ty is keeping, granted, he didn't work as far as the other 2 did, but this was excellent company that he was keeping.
It was, and the important part of this work is to make sure that these horses are breaking equally as well, which they all broke well together, and are finishing well. You can see Emily on that winner that romped away the other day. I mean, she's, she's clearly on the best here. Yes, she is. The other ones have had these series of 3-furlong works. The most recent work was actually very sharp out of the gate. You can see that on XBTV, and the horse was wearing blinkers. So expect Tim Ty, I should say, to be wearing blinkers.
Now, there's other factors to consider when looking at first-time starters, trainer intent, the record of the dams, et cetera, et cetera. We saw the workout videos. What was your final analysis of who you like in race 2?
I ended up with Tim Ty actually on top, just because of you've got the good gate speed. Stanford is a speed sire. And most importantly, the post position. I love those outside posts for these babies.
And Edwin Maldonado in the saddle doesn't hurt at all. 6-5 morning line favorite is Tim Ty. Let's turn the page, Millie. Take a look at race number 3. Back on the turf course. This time 1 mile is the distance. $25,000 claimers is the claiming price. Scratch the 2. Atomic Drop leaves us with a field of 5. Number 5, Flavius. The 9-year-old is the 4-5 morning line favorite. A bit long in the tooth, but certainly in sharp form right now.
That's all right. I feel his pain.
I do too.
He just, to me, he's really well spotted in here. And there's a lot of speed. I looked through this race and it sets up for him. He's earned over $800,000 and a lot of it recently is doing it the hard way. So you have to give him a lot of respect. I put Flavius on top with Juan Hernandez riding, and then my numero uno on the dropping class. It's a pretty significant drop from 40 to 25 for the Paddy Gallagher. And if this gelding can two-turn, his sprint races are competitive enough to fit with this level. He's 5 for 12 lifetime, likes to win races.
Let's visit the handicapping concept you just mentioned, Millie, which is basically pace makes the race. You said there's a lot of speed in race 3, which should flatter Flavius's late kick. You were a rider, you were a jockey, an exercise rider. You know, you can tell when you're in a speed duel, right? In other words, you know that you're probably in trouble if you're caught up with very fast fractions. Is there any kind of like, hey, what are you doing? You know, any type of verbal exchange with the other jockey or exercise rider when you guys are out there on the track?
Absolutely, because you know, those jockeys know if you're on a horse that is an one way to go, one-dimensional horse, and you've got someone that's just coming up and wanting to go with you, and
niggling at him and everything else.
You know, are you crazy?
Right.
Yes, there's often some verbal communication there. Yes,
not suitable for a Mother's Day
most often
seminar.
than not, it does neither of you any good.
Correct. But pace does make the race. There's no disputing that.
Yes.
I would completely agree with that. Race number 4 is our feature race on the card. Race 4 also begins the $1 pick 6. We're sprinting 7 furlongs in the main track for 3-year-olds. It's named in honor of Laz Barrera, $100,000 guaranteed. Field of 4. The Red Hot Barn, Mark Glatt saddles number 4. Ball Don't Lie, fresh off a maiden score. Did you happen to know Laz at all during your days as an exercise rider?
No,
you did not.
No, not at all.
Okay,
no.
but he was a character from what I've heard.
Yes.
Of course, the trainer of Affirmed and others as well.
No.
So who do you like in race 2, Millie, and why?
I would, because this starts the pick 6, I would single Ball Don't Lie. This is a blame colt. He's been very professional in both his races. One going away last time, and I don't often like the winners, maiden winners against now open winners. But Mark Glatt won the other day with Yellow Sundress, doing exactly the same thing. And he's just the fastest. In my opinion, he's got tactical speed and draws the outside post position. The thing I'm not keen about with John Sadler's horse Down on the Rail is, he's going from turf to dirt. Now he's going to get that dirt in his face. He's actually a faster dirt horse than he is a turf horse on numbers, but I just think that post position is going to compromise him. So I went 4-2 in there. Let's
take a look at race number 5. Back sprinting on the turf course, 6 furlongs the distance. Race 5 also begins the 50-cent late pick 5, as well as the $3 all turf pick 3. We've got a field of 5 after the scratch of number 6, Paul Vincent's Poem. Morning line favorite Down on the Rail number 1, Give Me the Loot, who's 2-1 on the morning line. Kristen Mulhall saddles. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Millie, I want to take a look at the replay that both Give Me the Loot and Barristan the Bold exit. Give Me the Loot is going to break from post position number 3. Barristan the Bold is going to be Down on the Rail. This race was back on April 21st. There's 2 things to take note about this race. First of all, the replay we're about to watch was run at the distance of 5.5 furlongs on the turf course. We're going to get an extra half furlong today. So when you watch the replay, see if that might impact your decision of who you like here. Also notice the fractions that they're going to run early in this particular replay we're about to watch. 21 and change, 43 and change. They were smoking up front, certainly flattering the late kick of both Gimme the Loot and Barristan the Bold. So let's take a look at the replay for April 21st. It was the second race, and watch post positions 1 and 3 for Barristan the Bold and Give Me the Loot, respectively.
Devil Moon and Happy the first 2 out. Salardi in between horses. Sawazdi is now moving up in the red colors. And behind them, Gimme the Loot settles in the second flight with Barristan the Bold and Happy. They pass the half-mile pole, and there's a battle on the front end. On the outside, it's Devil Moon and Sawazdi who go on with it. Salardi now 3 off them in third. Down at the rail, Barristan the Bold. Cane Creek Road just had some trouble and had to back out of that mess. Give Me the Loot is 4 deep. Another 3 back to Happy. Quarter of a mile to go, and Devil Moon goes on. Sawazdi down at the rail in second. 3 more lengths to Cane Creek Road. At the rail, Barristan the Bold is looking for racing room while starting to pick up some momentum, and Give Me the Loot on the outside. They're coming to the 16th pole. Barristan the Bold is now lengthening that stride, coming after Devil Moon, and he's got him late. It will be Barristan the Bold to get up.
Millie Barriston, the Bow, likes to win races. 11 career wins from 44 starts. Likewise for Give Me the Loot, 10 wins from 32 career starts. They have a nose for the wire. You like both those runners in this race.
I do. I put Barriston the Bold on top. They both actually had trouble in that race because Barriston the Bold was steadied in that race and it sort of stopped his momentum a bit, but he's in great form. And then Give Me the Loot, he just went really wide. But what my separation was here was that Give Me the Loot's always been a speed horse, right? And now all of a sudden he seems to be losing some of that
And that
speed.
can happen late in the career.
Absolutely. And I just wonder whether he is as effective. It just makes me a little hesitant to put him on top because of that transition.
4-1 in race number 5. Let's take a look at race number 6. Begins the 50-cent late pick 4. This is a race for maiden special weight Calbred fillies and mares traveling the distance of 6 furlongs. One scratch the 4. Sky Sailing, leaves us with a field of 5. Number 6, Moonlight Tryst, the first-time starter from the David Hoffman's barn, who won a race yesterday, is the 2-1 Moyne Lane favorite. Again, one more replay to watch here, Millie, and it relates to the filly that your husband saddles. Number 2, Epion. I want to go back and take a look at her debut effort back on March 17th. Sky Sailing, who scratched out of this race, you'll also see in the replay. But focus on Epion, who breaks from post position number 3. Not only do I believe she wins a winning race, but the 2 runners who finished in front of her both came back to win. The winner, Roberto's Love, came back to win a $125,000 Calbred Stakes race, signifying that might have been a stronger than average maiden special weight race. So let's watch Epion's debut performance back on March 17th, breaking from post position number 3.
In the gate. And they're off. Roberta's Love. Bits Tiger Magic is very fast as well, and Wishes to Riches in the pink sprints through inside of them. Sky Sailing comes away a joint 4th, and Epion wide and last down the back stretch. And it's Bits Tiger Magic ahead in front. At the rail, Wishes to Riches matches strides with Roberta's Love 3/4 back in 3rd. Epion moving up willingly while caught 4 deep, but just 3 lengths off the lead, and it's a big gap to Sky Sailing. Bits Tiger Magic 3 furlongs from home leads it a length and a half now. Roberta's Love fully extended, trying to close the gap in 2nd. Epion 3rd. Wishes to Riches has lost significant ground. Sky Sailing is far back, a 1/4 mile to go. Bits Tiger Magic, Roberta's Love, and the white blinkers on the outside. These 2 arrive 1-2 at the top of the stretch. Bits Tiger Magic digs in. Roberta's Love 2nd. Epion still with 3 to find in the final furlong. Bits Tiger Magic and Flavian Pratt. Roberta's Love and Tiago Pereira. Roberta's Love now takes the lead past the 16th pole and starts to edge clear. It's Roberta's Love to win it, going away by 2. Bits Tiger Magic was 2nd. Epion finished with Good Energy 3rd. A long way back, Sky Sailing.
Millie, on the gallop, we can see Epion wanted even some more of Roberta's Love as well. Dynamite debut effort, in my opinion. Tim actually trained the dam as well. First screening, never finished off the board. 6 lifetime starts, 2 wins, 1 second, 3 thirds. This is her first foal. I gotta believe you guys think today might be graduation day.
I do hope so. I mean, the way she's training. In fact, Adalberto Lopez, who you know from the Golden Gate days, the ex-jockey, he's one of our exercise riders, and he loves the way this filly's been training into the race. We rushed her a little bit to start her from a gait standpoint. And you see it showed because she was a step slow. She's broken great since, and I'm hoping that just the return to the dirt after, she handled the turf okay. She just didn't have that kick like she did on the main track. So I'm hoping that return to the dirt will really help her out.
Be a great Mother's Day present for the Octane household, that's for sure. Race number 7, we're traveling 1 mile on the turf course. For fillies and mares, $32,000 of the claiming tag, a good field of 8. The Moyne Lane favorite is the rare Illinois bred who runs here in Southern California, number 4. Freedom Last from the Phil D'Amato bar, 9-5 in the Moyne Line. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here, Millie?
I put a thumbs up. I know she's a bit tricky to train. Jesse D'Amato rides her in the mornings, and she's one of those fillies you just have to keep her moving. And she is taking the drop-in class, which I think will help significantly. She's also cutting back in trip. I put her on top, Freedom Last, and had a really tough time finding a horse to go underneath. I ended up with Dolly May. I would not put Dolly May on top because she's 1 for 26 next lifetime. But I think she's good enough to run second.
Race number 8 begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. And we kick things off here at Santa Anita, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. It's an allowance optional claiming race for non-winners of 2 other than 2 scratches. Scratch the 4 and 7 leaves us with a field of 5. Mana Rose, who has become a different horse once he shifted over to the main track for trainer Jeff Mullins, is the 4 to 5 morning line favorite. I think you like this horse a lot here today, Millie.
I really do. It was one of 2 singles for me in the pick 6, the earlier one I mentioned. But Mana Rose here for Jeff Mullins, as you pointed out, is just in a different area code now with the switch in surface. Does have inside speed. Might get a little bit of pressure with Kingdom Heart in there, but I think Mana Rose is the best horse in the race.
We close out the day and we close out the week in race number 9, offering $5 Golden Hour daily double wagering, and we're sprinting 5 furlongs in the turf course for Calbred maiden special weights. We've got a good field of 9. Number 4, Special Club, the son of Clubhouse Ride, is the 5 to 2 morning line favorite. Juan Hernandez and Craig Lewis team up. They're always dangerous whenever they're a tandem, but you like a first-time starter in here.
This was one of the trickiest races of the entire card for me, and I ended up on only Alleged, who's been working very quickly for Dean Pedersen. I just thought that 6 to 1 on the morning line, there's a lot of value there, and you get a really good post for a first-time starter. Of the horses that have raced, I ended up with Special Club because Special Club has been working the last 2 works with Handsome Red, who won the opener yesterday for this barn, and they looked equally as good. Cuts back in Trip, which I think is really going to help. But the vulnerability, I think, comes up with Special Club is the turf course. All the good races have been on the main track. So I don't really trust this horse as much on the turf. So that's why I put him underneath the first-time starter.
We always trust Millie Ball's opinion whenever she joins me on the seminar. One additional note for Millie's top selection, the first-time starter, only Alleged. The damn allegation, I believe is how it's pronounced, excuse me if I mispronounced it, has thrown 5 first-time starters, 1 winner, 1 second-place finisher as well. So 2 out of 5. Certainly there's some precocity in the family. And Sir Prancelot, one of the more prolific sires standing here in the state of California. Millie, I want to thank you so much for your time and insight today.
Thank you.
Again, happy Mother's Day to you. I'm sorry you have to
Yeah.
work on your special day, but you're used to this type of a rigmarole.
Hey, it keeps me out of trouble.
It sure does. It keeps all of us out of trouble. Thanks again, Millie. I'll look forward to working with you later today on the simulcast set. Thanks to all of you for watching as well. One additional note that I want to point out to you who are horse players, and that would be the coast to coast. First of all, let's take a look at the winning pad on yesterday's coast to coast pick 5 sequence. Can you believe it? 1 winning ticket for $1 wager returned $109,000. What an incredible payout. And that's not the first time that's happened. It happened last Sunday as well. 1 winning ticket in excess of $100,000. Yesterday's winning ticket was bought at twinspires.com. So congratulations to that lucky and skilled ticket holder. Now today's coast to coast pick 5 sequence begins with Gulfstream Park, and Gulfstream Park's race 7 will be the kickoff leg for the coast to coast pick 5, 1:16 p.m. Pacific time. As you can see, as I mentioned, dollar minimum, low 15% takeout. With payouts like that, that would make a great Mother's Day gift, not only for you if you're a mom, but also if you wanted to give your mom a special present. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great afternoon. And both Millie and I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Thanks so much for watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, happy Mother's Day, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place where the track is fast and the turf is firm. Rail on the turf at 0 feet. Here are the changes.